Hey girl. Hey girl. You gonna have those babies? Alright, I wanna see. So it came out today. Winona is definitely filled out and her udder and her ligaments are gone, which means we will have goat kids in the next 24 hours. She did wait until the weather warmed back up. We are officially above freezing, and will be, at least during the day. It's gonna dip a little below freezing at night, but not too bad, nothing like it was. So that's a huge relief, and I'm really excited. I don't know Winona. I just got her a year ago. She's never kidded on my farm before. So for me, it's mostly that I want to be really present just because I don't know what she'll do. At this point, I'm not really concerned so much about the weather being an issue, but I don't know what kind of mom she is. And if she is not a great mom, I want to make sure I catch that before we lose a kid, which is essentially what happened with Anna and her buckling that we lost. And you know, I did my video the other day saying we didn't have any casualties from the winter storm, and a few people were like, well, what about Anna's buckling? We did lose Anna's buckling the week before, but I don't know that that was fully about the weather. That was before the like really cold weather came. That was before the snow and ice had come. It was cool, but I think it was more a matter that she just didn't take care of him, and with that combined with the cold weather. However, I think there might have been something wrong with him because she has raised kids before. This girl is gonna be such a heavy milker. I'm really hoping to get one or more doelings from Winona. The reason I brought her in was because she was such a heavy milker. She's a big La Mancha. She's very tall and she's registered. I don't really keep up with that. I don't register my goats. However, with her, I was bringing her in to bring her genetics into my herd. So she is a full La Mancha, but she's just a big one and she's just a very heavy milker. She milks over a gallon a day. And my hope was in bringing her in is that if she had daughters, I could keep her daughters and over the course of a few years really work those heavy milk genetics into my herd. This little guy is seriously the friendliest goat. Hey, little dude. We didn't get him disbudded in time, so he's gonna have horns. They had already broken through when we took the rest of the goats. And this little girl here, Margot's, one of Margot's babies. Oh no. She's actually polled, so she does not have horns. They weren't coming in. So that's kind of cool. That's a benefit. Those are genetics you want to keep. Hey, no, don't eat my hair. And here is the lovely part of the snow thawing. It's so muddy. So my seedlings all lived through our 0-degree nights. However, this is something I did not foresee in leaving them out here. The roof of the greenhouse was covered with snow for a few days, and they got kind of leggy because they didn't have enough light. So I've moved them down here, and I think I may get my Greenstalk filled up and start transplanting. Even though they're small seedlings, go ahead and transplant them in some of the pockets of the Greenstalk, because this is all like kale, stuff like that. I just thought it was hilarious that I left them out here when it was 0. That's -17 Celsius for those of you. And they lived and then got leggy. I was like, really? Come on. So for the next thing I want to tell you guys about, I actually have a guest here. Join us, sir. It's Daniel. He's here. So for those of you who don't know, Daniel is our dear friend that makes all the music for this channel. All the lovely acoustic guitar picking that you hear behind all our videos. It really, I think, sets the tone for Roots and Refuge Farm. Daniel has been doing that for us since we started our YouTube channel. We are actually collaborating on a project, and I want to tell you guys about it. So we've just opened up our t-shirt pre-orders again, and we have 2 new designs. I'll get the other things out of the way first. So the first of which is a really beautiful design. It's another collaboration with my friend Jill, Whispering Willow Farm. She and I just released this course. We are currently in the live run of the course, so that is closed. That content bundle will be available after the course. the live course is over. But we made a design kind of to commemorate that, and just because I know so many of us here are growing gardeners, and so that design is currently available. And then we've also introduced a new product, which is canvas bags. This is something that's been heavily requested by you guys, just to have a canvas tote, because some of you are not t-shirt people or hoodie people, and so those are available right now. And then lastly, probably one of my favorite designs we've ever had, I mean definitely, it's something very dear to my heart, is the shirt that I'm collaborating with Daniel in, and I'm going to tell you what it's for. It is a shirt that says, "Please plant me where the wild things grow." And many of you have been with us for a while know that's a lyric to a song that Daniel and I wrote together and sing together, and we are actually recording that on an album later this year. And so part of the proceeds of this shirt are for funding that album. We came out with that. It's primarily going to be Daniel's album. I am going to do that song with him on that album, but it's just a lot of really beautiful songs from his heart. So you want to tell them a little bit about like what this album means to you?
Oh yeah,
because it's been a long time coming. A lot of these songs have been a long time coming. I mean, we've been singing Where the Wild Things Grow for at least, what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, something like that. This album's really special to me. It's a lot of songs that I've written with you, and a lot of songs that I've written since becoming a gardener.
Yeah. Which
has become a great expression of my worship to the Lord, is through gardening. I almost just fell down. And so, you know, having these songs, being able to record them, they are really precious to me. A lot of these songs are the songs that I sing in my quiet place when I'm all alone and nobody's around. These are the songs that I like to sing. A few of the songs that are going to be on there is "Plant Me Where the Wild Things Grow," "Garden on the Inside of Me," "Call from the Wild," some of these songs that we've written together.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really excited to be able to record this, and I appreciate you guys being willing to put it on t-shirt. I've already ordered mine.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to get behind this. It's something Mario and I think we decided to work on this like it was the end of last summer that we knew that you were looking at doing this at the end of this year, and we're like, man, let's think about how we could do that. And so we've got a beautiful shirt with a beautiful piece of art on it from our very gifted artist at Be Unlimited. All of our shirts are available on pre-orders. We do that so we can work with this local company. They're sourced well with quality materials, and we love to support local businesses, so that's why we do it that way. I'll put the links down below and make sure you guys check that out. So what do you think about all the snow?
It's beautiful. I mean, this is really amazing. I've known y'all for a long time, and I've never seen snow like this on y'all's farm. So. Well,
there's never been snow like this on our farm, so that's definitely why. Our roads are finally clear. It is warmed up. The reason there's still so much on the ground is because there was a lot, pretty well above freezing. I imagine that even here in a few days when it's like 60 degrees, there will still be snow on the ground for a little bit, especially where it's piled up multiple feet. But it is beautiful. You know, the geese have been completely unbothered by the snow. The geese and the ducks have been out in it more than any of the other animals. Y'all, all the ice pulled the gutter off of our house. Isn't that nuts? Look at my garlic poking through. It still looks alive. Everybody told me my garlic would be fine and my onions may be fine. So we'll see. There's a little garlic poking through. I'm hoping maybe my chickens will have started laying eggs again. The chickens quit laying. I moved them up here. They started laying again. I got a dozen eggs every other day for like a week, which was great.
That's awesome.
And then it got really cold and they stopped again. One day there will be eggs on my farm consistently again, one day. But I can't blame them. It's not like they've been able to scratch around in anything. They look really happy to have something to do outside of their little coop. Hey girl. It's the next day. And I walked out this morning about 7 to come out to the barn and check on everything. and almost completely bit the dust on the ice. But now that it is the afternoon, it is much warmed up. So you can see much of our winter precipitation is melting, and it's starting to feel a little bit more like Arkansas out here. Hey little babies, y'all enjoying the sun? It feels very warm to you, doesn't it? It feels very warm. So last night we did our Sunday night live, and afterwards I came out to the barn to find 2 little bucklings in with Winona. She did a good job, didn't you, girly? And this baby back here is so interesting looking. Oh, you want me to give you some attention instead? You did a good job, Mama. Don't worry, I'm not gonna mess with him. This baby is so interesting looking. Look how handsome he is. I think he's gonna be kind of gray. He looks more gray today even than he did last night. And then here's the other little buckling. Also really pretty. Admittedly, I did not get what I wanted out of Winona this year. I was hoping to get some does from her because she is such a heavy milker, but I am massively relieved that she held out and didn't have these kids in the middle of the ice, and that when she did have them, she turned out to be a good mom. That is a huge relief to me, because whenever you bring a new doe in, it's always a risk. And though it is not super common for does to reject their kids, it does happen. Factors that can make that happen is if a doe has like more kids than she thinks she can feed. So a lot of times if they'll have triplets, they'll reject the weakest one, and it'll be obvious that they won't let them eat, they won't take care of them. And again, this is like these natural instincts for survival, because that's what animals are wired with. That is clearly not the case with Miss Winona. She's a good little mama. Look at that wagging tail. That makes me so happy. Hey guys. Hey little ones. Another thing I've noticed just in the time since I've had my farm is that, you know, sometimes babies aren't developed right, or whatever, they're weak for whatever reason. And it seems like the moms are really able to sense that, because whenever we have a kid that's born that's kind of weak, or when we've had piglets born that had like a defect, it's pretty common for those moms to reject those, or in, you know, some cases they'll even put them down themselves. And when it comes to the goats, like if we have a weak kid that we feel a little iffy about, a lot of times that's when we do intervene. Some people disagree with that and kind of go for the survival of the fittest situation, but I just don't have the heart to do it in a lot of cases. Hey girlies, y'all enjoying the sun? Doing some sunbathing? Hey goats. Hey, y'all laying around? Having a lazy day? My next goat on kid watch is Adele here. She's my only Nubian that I'm absolutely certain is bred. I actually witnessed Thorin Oakenshield breed her, but also I have noted a visible change in her udder. A couple of the other ones I suspect that they are, but I don't feel quite as sure as I do with her. And I think she should be having her kids within like the next 10 to 12 days.
You don't want to have a snowball fight?
Not really. What are you doing, crazy?
You want to build a snowman?
You're bad. Stop. I've had enough snowball fights. Check out the cottage garden. I did have a viewer, Jennifer, message me and tell me that her best year of growing poppies was when the seeds were sown upon the snow, and I thought that was really, really cool. She said it's the perfect time to sow poppies was in our cold weather. So I went ahead and gave it a shot. If nothing else, so poetic, I had to try. The mud. I have been waiting for the snow to melt to see how my onions fared, and I still see green. So I think that for the most part, they're okay. Still a good deal of snow down here and a lot of mud. I bet it'll all be melted here in just the next day or two. A lot of you assured me when I wasn't sure if my onions were gonna pull through, because the coldest night we had in the winter storm, was -5. That's -20 Celsius. And we woke up and I saw -5 and I was like, what? So I'm zone 7. That means that the record extreme lows in my area is 0, -17 Celsius. So to have gotten down that cold, it's crazy. Like it's the coldest recorded temperatures in Arkansas in like hundreds of years. And so I genuinely didn't know when people are like, hey, do you think your onions are gonna pull through? Or people in my area were messaging me being like, hey, do you think our garlic's gonna be okay? Do you think anything's gonna pull through this? And I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I've never experienced this before. But many of you came to the rescue. To all of my cold weather faring viewers, thank you. You gave us advice, you gave us suggestions, you told us things that we could do to protect our home, to protect our animals. Thank you. And you reassured me during all of this when I was like, I don't know if my stuff is gonna be okay. And I stayed in a place that I was gonna be fine. Even if it all died, it would have been okay. My plants obviously would have been extremely devastated if my animals had died. But many of you assured me if the snow was on the ground before those really cold temperatures, that it would work as an insulator. And apparently it did. Most of my strawberries seem to have survived it. Most of my berry plants, though a lot of the foliage is dead, the plants themselves seem fine. Same thing with the roses. The onions are still fine. The garlic's still fine. My thyme literally didn't miss a beat. It seems okay. My rosemary did get damaged, but at the base of it, it still seems to be okay. So I'm just gonna prune it back. My artichoke looks pretty zapped, but man, Artie is a survivor. And so I'm just hoping that that root system was insulated and that I'm gonna cut him back and hopefully we'll have some fresh growth. It looks like most of the plants pulled through. And so I appreciate those of you who reassured me while I was waiting to learn that it probably would be just fine. And now that the cold weather has passed, I actually have my greenhouse propped open today because it was 100 degrees in there when I came down. That's crazy. But it's super sunny. It's like 60 outside, 60 degrees with snow on the ground. I'm not complaining. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. We are going to be hopping into seed starting later this week, ready to move on into that wonderful time. I'm so excited. Again, I'll say it over and over. I don't think I'll ever have a spring that I'm quite as ready for as this one. I bless you guys. Until next time.